Oh, shoot. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Contest of Speed. We've got some wonderful AM2 action this evening. I am Burzy J, and joining me along tonight in the booth is none other than R123 Craft himself. How are you doing this evening, sir?
Oh, Brizzy, I'm really excited. I think the last time I did comms was for last season's AM2 Singapore race, and those of you who were around back then will remember it was a race that no one wanted to win. So I'm incredibly excited.
I am too. I think it's going to be good. We've got a championship bout on our hands as Bodhot and Kitten Petter are looking to hash out the final key points here in this championship to lock things down with 2 races to go. We've got Singapore right now, and then next week we are at Circuit of the Americas to finish out the season as the drivers are starting to make their way on track. We've got a couple of fill-ins this evening. X427, Dan, one of our lovely commentators on the EU side, is filling in the Alfa Romeo. Also, we've got Spud back again, filling in, so it should be good to see some of these less than familiar faces filling in on the American side this evening.
Yeah, thought since we're getting towards the end of our title fight, uh, I assume you are kind of privy to the information of who is going to win or how much Bodhod needs to secure the title.
Yeah, Bonnet was letting us know earlier today he has to finish, I believe, he has to finish third or worst without the fastest lap or something along those lines. Let me pull up what he was saying to us earlier. But yeah, basically, Kitten Petter's on thin ice here. We've got 37 points between Kitten Petter and Bodhod. So Kitten Petter needs to win out to win the championship, more or less. So we'll kind of see as things go.
It'll be a tough one for Kitten. His charge for the championship might be coming just a little too late, even with I think Bodhod's had a few bouts of bad luck in the last few weeks.
Yeah, absolutely. He had an unfortunate crash a few weeks ago, and he was able to have a solid result last week. But I think, unfortunately for Kitten Petter at Azerbaijan, he got spun and had a really tough race. So
Yeah.
yeah, Bodhot ended up winning the race last week, obviously. But yeah, so Kitten Petter against the really against the fence here for the final few rounds. But we'll see as he's currently on his first hot lap of the evening. And I'm gonna
I'm
pop over.
I guess we don't know what the weather is yet, do we?
No, no word from the weather yet. So hopefully we can get some word from the garages when the drivers are done their first round hops. Oh,
Oh,
DJ disqualified or disconnected?
I think he's dropped it around turn one, two, maybe
Oh,
three. We could call it.
that looks right. Oh, I'm in the wrong car here. Which car? No, room
Ooh,
freshness
Kano in the
number.
house.
We'll see here.
Oh yeah,
See that
yep.
car? Yeah, there it is on the side of the road.
It's I think I was discussing with Nicholas, one of our AM1 drivers, about how Singapore has changed between this year's game and last year's game. Positives are the tires are much more forgiving, but, and I don't know if you found this, the traction zones have been incredibly challenging.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially watching your EU2 race you did. Oh, Kitten getting some serious contact into the wall of the penultimate corner there. Not great. But Kitten Petter setting the opening time of 35.6. Definitely has a lot more in the tank, I can
Hmm.
guarantee that. But we'll see now. Got, looks like next across the line might be Rogue or SRS. No, it is Rogue. So Rogue goes fastest with a 35.5.
Interesting. Also, from I think the Alpha Garage of our resident EU driver, overcast all the way. So no rain to spice things up tonight.
Oh, that's good. I think these drivers are going to have their hands full as it is with
Hmm.
this very technical circuit. I know it's your favorite circuit on the track. I've really enjoyed practicing for this circuit, and we'll see which of these drivers is dialed in at this track. It is one of the trickier ones. It's been a tough final few races, some very technical tracks, but to finish it off, Australia, then Azerbaijan, and now Singapore.
Yeah, it's definitely mentally taxing to get prepared for Singapore right after preparing for Baku, but we'll see how the drivers do. Versi, how high do you think these times are going to get? Do you think we're going to see some 34s from the whoever ends up on pole?
Yeah, I'd expect Bodhod and Kitten to, if they can dial things in, I can expect them to creep into the 34s. But I think just like will be high 34s. But I
Yeah,
don't know. It's hard to
I'd
say.
agree.
It's hard to say because like depending on the track, like Rogue's right up there with Kitten Petter. So like obviously Kitten smacked the wall, so he's got a couple more tenths in him for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd say high 30, very very high 34s, just creeping in.
It's I guess it's also worth it to talk about just the nature of the circuit, and I find this in time trial, but it's just so hard. It's a minute 30 whatever lap, and there's so many technical parts that nailing the entire lap all the way through to get to what you theoretically can do is incredibly difficult. In EU2 as well, the pole for a while was just a 34 flat when we know drivers can do upwards of 33 twos. So it's not it's also just really hard for these drivers to actually connect a full lap, right?
No, absolutely. I think kind of going back to what you said earlier about just the mentally
Uh huh.
taxing nature of preparing for this circuit. Now you got to dial it in for two, potentially three hot laps here, and then you've got to go and do 31 grueling laps around the circuit. I know
Oh
earlier
yeah.
earlier today when you were doing the race, we were at lap 24 and I was engineering for you, and you were like, "It feels like I've been out here for like an hour," and it's like, no, we still got like 7, 8 laps to go. So I feel like these
Well,
drivers might feel a little bit of that fatigue as we get around.
there's just no spots to relax. Like any other track, you have a straight at some point where you can kind of like take a little bit of a refresher. But here, the straights are either, they're curved, they're short, a lapse of judgment, and you're in a wall. So really, by the end of this race, you're mentally spent, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Now, I guess kind of calm on track, but let's talk about tire strategy too, because I'm noticing Kitten has fitted the mediums for his next attempt at a hot lap.
Yeah, and I noticed Bodhod and Motown also did coming out of the pits here. So Bodhod's just started his hot lap. So I wonder if there's something to that where Kitten might feel he's better on the medium tires. Historically, Kitten Petter has been quite quick on the harder compound tires, especially when we get into like Hungary was a great example where he got onto those hard tires and he ran away with things. So we'll look to see Kitten have success as we get into the second stint of this race. Oh, his Bodhot is around and he has survived, but he has completely destroyed his wing.
Oh man, that
Oh
scared
my
me.
goodness.
It's a tricky circuit, and the issue too is if Bodhod really wants to qualify on these mediums, that's one more lap he adds to them, as he'll let
Absolutely.
a Motown sneak by.
Yeah, he's gonna have to let everybody sneak by here. Struggling to get around. It looked like he went off at around turn 7, 8. So tough, but Motown going through the tricky bridge section, getting to the hairpin at turn 13. Now down the back TRS straight, getting a good run in, and looks like that's the Haas of Kano, potentially, or Kitten, letting him by. Motown's
But
been an up and comer here joined us a
Dude,
few weeks ago, and he's been cruising. He's been crushing it. Like,
I was just gonna say, like, uh, sometimes we have new drivers and it takes them a bit to like, get situated or whatever. But he's kind of jumped into AM2 and uh, just I just so impressive.
oh,
Oh,
that's a tough invalidation right at the end of that
oh.
lap because he was flying.
I
Uh,
wonder if I go to the race director if I can see what that was gonna potentially be.
ooh,
So it was a 36.7. So
okay.
whatever that means.
Well, so he would have been good enough for P5 on mediums. Like, that's not bad.
No. I
Not at all.
think if one of these guys can finagle their way on the mediums into that top five, then they're gonna be quite the favorite for the win.
No, absolutely. Especially because this is such a difficult track to overtake at. I know you were struggling to get by a couple of drivers today, and
Ooh,
I think
our cock in the wall.
I think the undercut is
Sorry.
going to be huge here. No, that's all good. Arcaka into the wall. That's unfortunate coming out on the softs. Or yeah. So flip over to the best lap. Oh, we've got people joining in. I was a little late getting the notification in that we're streaming on this account. Didn't want to get over to the main one, but nonetheless, here we are. So, Kit and Petter rounding the final corner. And this lap is looking good. And not doesn't look like it was good enough to improve though. So,
Oh my God, Brizzy. How much do you think he missed off on his time on the soft by?
well, but that reaction, well, I'm gonna say like half a tenth or something like that, a couple hundredths of a second.
0.02.
Oh my goodness. Two hundredths
Well,
of a
it
second off.
it just goes to show you that it's always risky if you want to do the mediums. If you set a lap on the softs, you might end up on them when you really don't want to be, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Okay, well, we've got lots of guys kind of filing in the. Oh, looks like Dan's on a lap, so. X427 flying in to the very tricky. Where are we on this circuit here? Turn 11, 12 complex, and then the bridge going in third 13. Looking good so far.
Tough bit. So fast,
Oh,
but tight.
so fast, and you can lose it, go into the wall, in lots of places. The curbs are not your friend here at this circuit, I found.
Now,
So,
he's 2 tenths up on his split in Sector 2.
all right. Well, we'll see going into the final few corners here. Cool little switchback section at turns 18, 19, 20, and 21, kind of going through the grandstand that's sitting there. And coming around 22, 23.
That looks pretty good.
And he is able to jump Andrew up to P3 with a 35.8.
I gotta be honest, it looks faster.
Yeah, I agree. That did look a lot quicker. So Bodhod's on track. Bodhod has just started a hot lap. And these guys are opting for the medium, so they must be committing to that one-stop strategy. Medium to hard.
Yep.
I know you were able to make the soft to hard work. And the tires seem to last quite well. I mean, we did have 2 safety cars in there, but... Or did we only have 1? And a VSC. Can't remember. But,
Just one, I think, yeah.
just 1 in the VSC, but you did... I think you finished with like 60% on your...
Oh,
Or maybe not even on your hards, so...
you
It's
know,
possible to do a soft.
and they never, I don't think I even got the little pop-up. So the hards will take you as far as you need them to.
Yep.
Um, but again, so I just noticed DK's also hello DK. Thank you for letting me sit in your seat. Says Bodhod for the win. Says he loves this track. So
Ooh.
if Bodhod knows he has pace, and again, if he can get around that top 4 on these mediums,
Yep.
that's such an advantage compared to everyone else.
No, absolutely. Especially because, I mean, the little bit of practice I've done on the mediums, the pace difference wasn't really that much. So, but the hard mediums obviously last longer. And Botta being one of the stronger drivers in the tier, I think he's going to be able to make the most of that. As he is able to go third fastest on the mediums.
Nice lap.
And that's impressive stuff. So, Botta going as fast as Kitten Petter on a harder compound tire. Oh, there's iFunner and Dan X427 have come together on the track.
What?
Or something. Coming into the pit lane potentially, maybe?
I think it must have been. Now again, I want to remind everyone that Kitten set a 35.67 on mediums. So had he not set that lap on softs, he would be right alongside Bodhod on the premium strategy at the top of the grid.
Yes. So interesting strategy there, but Kitten Petter knows what he wants, and who knows, maybe with the chaos of this track and knowing how last season went, I mean, there's probably gonna be a safety car tonight, so I mean that might play into one of their favors.
Crazy there. I think the question is not if it's how much as far as safety cars go.
Right.
Because I guess there always is the thing, if there is a safety car in those, like, around that 4, 5, 6 range, and you're on mediums, you're gonna feel a little hard pressed to give up, that advantage you had at the start, just to be on this, to get your pit stop done.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
and we've got a few guys in here. Alps now in the chat, saying he's hoping for a repeat of last season and the chaos that brought. I know Alp was joining you in the commentary booth last season, and
I forgot. I forgot that was me and Alp.
Yeah.
Well, if something along those lines of travesties happens again, then I'm sorry in advance to the AM2 drivers. But it'll be really exciting to watch if it does.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we'll find out. I noticed Motown's on a hot lap here, crossing the line, going fourth fastest, 35.7. He ran out of the deployable amount of ERS like at the end of turn 17. So he had like pretty much half of sector 3 he had to get through without any ERS deployment, which was kind of insane. So I wonder if that's something the drivers are facing too, that maybe we're not taking into account with these times.
Here, let me just look at a track map so I know where that is.
Yeah, it's with when you go under this grandstand, basically that little section.
He ran out. Oh my God, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I flipped over to watch his last little bit of his lap.
I find by 21 I'm out normally.
Okay. Well, and that's not too bad. You just have that little run to go. And really, if you know that's going to be a case, you can always turn it down in some of the technical sectors, I guess. But
now, while we've been kind of talking away, I do want to say it's pretty good from Andrew to just plop it on pole like that. If you had to describe Andrew recently, his form, what would you say?
Yeah, he kind of has fallen off the map the last couple of races. He was
right.
in the hunt for the championship. Australia, he had an unfortunate coming together with Rogue, and then that kind of dropped him down the order and kind of wasn't really able to recover. But he was in the title fight up until, I believe, the Japan week, I think, if my memory serves me correctly. So, and Blades in the chat was saying that iFunner was sat stationary on the pit entry. So as Dan came around, they obviously came together. That must be a little bit frustrating.
And I do, speaking of pit entries, we had a great crash in EU2 today where Gresse locked up and went straight into the barrier. I just want everybody to be aware that we could have something as exciting as that happen.
Oh, absolutely. Okay, so SRS able to improve to 35.9, but SRS is a driver who, when it's his track, he's hot, and he can be right up there with the best of them, and then there's some tracks where he just struggles, and he's kind of in the middle or back of the field, which seems to kind of be
Ooh,
unusual. Oh, what are you seeing? What
good
are you
lap
seeing?
from Rogue.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
He
Rogue,
has taken it back.
he has taken it back. A
Wow.
35.347. That's impressive stuff. So
Great lap.
I guess our predictions were off a little bit, as everybody is now in the pits.
Now,
Nobody into the 34s.
I guess briefly, yeah, Amram at the start of the season, I definitely expected him to be, 1, 2, or 3, and I think if my memory serves me correct, it's just been kind of a tough season.
Yeah, I think it's a matter of just that's sometimes that's racing, and sometimes
Hmm.
things go your way, and sometimes things don't. And he's definitely had some examples where he's just had some unlucky things happen to him during the season, and just wasn't quite there. I think you'd have to pull up the championship standings. I think you might be able to have access to those with the TAS system, but
Oh, dude, I
if not, I can
forgot I
check the
had the.
website.
Wow,
I
look
thought
at this
Andrew
dashboard.
or I thought SRS was kind of up there in the top 5 for the championship. So he had a pretty solid season overall, but Bottot and Kitten were definitely dominating. So there you have it. Rogue and Andrew, Kitten Petter, Bottot, rounding out the top 4. We'll get the rest of that in a second. So we've got some predictions in the chat so far. DK, shout out to DK. Hope you have a great dinner. Enjoy your last few days in the US of A for a little while. He's predicting Bodhod and then Rogue and then Kitten. So predicting a Bodhod championship wrap up this evening. Andrew Bodhod Kitten out from Blades, and Alp is predicting Rogue, Motown, and Porridge. So going for something
Ooh.
ambitious. So that would really shake things up in terms of the championship if neither of them got points.
Also, just quick shout out to Kitten, texting on his phone while he's sitting on the grid. You should probably get the hands on the steering wheel.
Absolutely,
And
Ferrucci.
and Joel rooting for our EU phones. So,
There you go.
Brucey, what do you think?
Oh, I mean, if Andrew gets a good start, Andrew's gonna have a really solid race because Andrew can be quick on his day. Rogue,
Yeah.
Rogue's a very tough driver to race with. He's a very aggressive driver in a good way, and I think he's gonna make keep Andrew's hands full during the first few laps, and then obviously you've
Yeah.
got Kitten and Bod and the rest right behind. So it'll be interesting. It all depends on this start, but Motown Motown did a great job playing second fiddle to Bodhod last week in Azerbaijan. It was the ultimate team play because he basically just slowed up the field. It was hard to pass around the streets of Baku, and Bodhod was able to run away with the race last week. So maybe we'll see something similar, knowing that Motown's really not in this championship fight, or maybe depending on how things go, Motown might get his first win. I guess we'll find out.
Yeah. And Blade's correctly in the chat to DK. Bodhod needs to outscore Kitten 11 points to wrap up the championship.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just taking a look at the tires here. So outside the top 10, because Dan had that 5-place grid penalty, he's starting on softs. And then also young DJCJ will start on the softs in 15th. So maybe hoping for some sort of safety car to kind of hop him forward.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing you can hope for. Interesting that no one has opted for the reverse strategy.
Put on the hards.
Yeah. Yeah, because, I mean, as we saw in the race today in EU2, Jamie started on the hards, and he ended up winning the race. So, I mean, anything can happen.
And sometimes a backmarker will crash a
Yep.
lap down and cause a safety car.
There you
And
go.
I'm not salty. We all need to understand that bad things can happen
Oh,
at any
absolutely.
moment at this
Uh,
track, right? So
oh, yeah. Especially when you don't need them to.
I'm excited.
Alright.
I think Bodhide on these mediums, if he can keep his nose clean, I think he'll run away with it.
Yep. I agree. I think Now, this is going to be an interesting thing, too. You got Bodhod
Okay.
on the mediums
Hmm.
versus
Yes.
Kitten on the softs. So, I guess we'll see if that undercut will pay off for Kitten or not. As the cars make their way filing back onto the grid, we're getting ready to go racing.
Look at all those drivers.
And it's 5 lights. And we've got a light glitch. Oh, the Williams has taken off, but no one else on the grid
Oh,
has left yet, so that's interesting. We've already got a
I think
grid
he was
glitch.
DC'd.
So that was probably because iFunner was DC'd earlier, so I'm not really sure what the case is there. iFunner hopefully will get back to position, but we'll have to find out. But Rogue, going into turn 1. Oh, we've already got some carnage earlier
Oh,
back.
wow.
Oh, looked like Amram went
Um,
for an ambitious move into turn 3 and kind of ended up going into the wall sideways.
well, he's got past Motown, so Motown, I think, dropped the position. Amram up to 6th.
Kitten Petter right on the gearbox to Andrew. Oh, his Bodhod goes down the inside of Kitten going into turn 8. And Bodhod
Wow.
has P4 on our screens, but actually P3.
Yeah, I mean, he's past the guy he has to beat, and now that he's on the, the best tire strategy, he's looking really good. Unfortunate for his teammate now, he might struggle a bit, having lost his track position.
Glitch here on my end as well. Motown. So hopping over to Motown. Motown's got to deal with SRS. That'll be a pretty good battle to watch at the course of this race. I'd say similar pace between the two. Was SRS getting a little squirrely coming out of turn 14.
Well, watching them go through these turns, and it's amazing that these cars can stay on the track. But Motown is looking very racy behind that Renault.
Yeah, I mean, before you know it, he's probably going to get SRS. We'll see though. See who gets a better run going into the front straight as the cars make their way across the start finish. One full lap complete. Bodhod side by side with Andrew, so now Bodhod up into P2, and Rogue, the biggest winner so far, already able to create a 2-second gap, while Andrew and Bodhod were duking it out.
Do you think Rogue's starting to hear the Jaws music from that Mercedes behind him?
Da 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 da
Now,
da da da.
that 2-second gap is already 1.8. Now, I don't like to just stare at the gaps, but I think Bodhod is absolutely rapid over on these mediums.
Yeah, I agree. I think we'll have to keep an eye on that gap and see how things shake down, but I agree. I think Bodhod's right where he needs to be to lock this championship up. And I gotta apologize for last week because I called the championship thinking he had locked her down, but there's still a world mathematically where he needs to win. He hadn't locked it down, so tonight can be the night.
Well, now that Motown is by Amram, if he can catch up with Kitten and kind of delay the Haas, he will. I mean, that's perfect as far as the team game goes.
Oh, 100%. Like, that's not what Kitten will want. But right now, we've got an interesting battle. X427 Dan and SRS. This is going to be a tight battle. Amram already kind of starting to fall off. Motown showing his superior pace already. And things are starting to space out. Oh, is Motown... Kitten Petter has pit, so does Kitten Petter have damage?
I guess I have this dashboard and I could look.
Were we... Yeah, iFunner's here racing, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Or is he?
Yep. I think he rejoined midway through the start sequence.
Because I'm just seeing Alp in the chat asking for us to invite him, but that might have been... We might have gotten that same message in the Discord and got it sorted out. So yeah, so unfortunate for Kitten, he had some wing damage, so he's on the hards now, and he should be able to take that to the end, because his engineer Swarner filling in EU2 today, had a similar situation happen, and Swerner was able. Well, he ended up pinning for mediums later in the race, but I think those hards could go.
Yep.
It'd be tough, but he could make it work.
They'll be tough. They won't be too racy by the end.
Oh, so we got. I think there's a like iFunner. I think he kind of. I don't know if iFunner's racing or if that's his AI, but Rogue had to just kind of get the elbows out there at turn 13, the hairpin, and squeak by. So now, but Rogue was slowed up by iFunner earlier. So now Bodhot is right on his gearbox.
I'm pretty impressed. I feel like most times I tune into AM2, and you know, every single dot has like half a track from another one. But this midfield pack constitutes 14th, basically to Motown in 5th. So the DRS train and these drivers, they're not letting each other go.
No, not at all. And each of the drivers probably have a slightly different setup, which has some strengths and weaknesses for each of them. So that's also probably helping out a little bit. But yeah, I wonder here. We'll hop back to the kind of the back of that train you were mentioning. See, Kano and Arkaka looked like they were getting pretty close together. So we'll see if Arkaka can get a good run on Kano down that first DRS straight after turn 5.
Well, we'll see what wings each driver is running. Will he send it? No, he did. Fair enough, decides against it.
Yeah, I think that's the best choice. I mean, you'd hate to lose some wing here early on and then really be down, but I'm going to hop over back to Bodhot because as we come up to the turn 13 hairpin, we'll kind of get a better idea on if these softs are already starting to fall off. I know you pit lap 6, so I wonder if Rogue is maybe thinking the same.
Yeah, I'd say lap 6 is kind of like if you go any further, the tires will be approaching a cliff, and the undercut can be just absolutely mental. But we'll see. Bodhod, I think he just stays patient. Don't risk your wing, and then as soon as Rogue pits, run into the sunset.
No, absolutely. Like that gap to iFunner, already 4 seconds.
Yeah.
iFunner with the start glitch. For those of you that tuned in a little bit late, iFunner took off way before the rest of the field, and the front runners caught up to him. Oh, so we've got
So
Dan,
it looks like the alpha of Dan is the first to blink lap 5. I'll keep an eye on him, and we'll see if he jumps anyone.
Interesting. You keep an eye there. So is he pitting for hards at lap 4? Lap 5?
Lap 5, yep. The hards are going on to that alpha. Yeah.
There you go.
No wing damage.
Bodhod going down. Sorry to interrupt. Bodhod is now the race leader. Bodhod getting by Rogue down that DRS straight, going into turn 7. As we round turns 8 and 9. We'll see how much of an advantage these mediums really do have, as the gap is already 7/10 and counting.
Yep, job done. Dan, funny enough, just getting ahead of Kitten, as Kitten set the fastest lap. Now, I think Rogue also, he doesn't have much to gain by keeping Bodhot up, right? Just let him go by, try to keep building that gap, focus on your own race.
No, absolutely. It is tough because that is the car you are racing directly against, but with being on different strategies, you got to make sure you keep that in mind as well.
Yep.
And we got SRS and Porridge and Motown kind of a little three-way fight for P5 here.
Now I'm expecting about 70% of this entire pack to pit. Or at least the ones on softs.
Yeah, some of them should be coming in now. And the rest of them will be coming in later. I guess it'll kind of depend on their tire wear.
Well, I guess that's right. Dan technically pit on lap 4, so he went very early.
He did. So
wow.
Maybe that's a gamble on. That's obviously a gamble on his end, and things he learned from yesterday's race. Yeah.
So the AlphaTauri, Motown, and then Prem all pitting for those hards.
Yep. That's the wise choice. Oh, Andrew going for mediums. Interesting. So Andrew committing to the 2-stop. That's an interesting idea there.
You know, AM2 never fails for weird strategy, and you know sometimes it works out.
absolutely. Arkaka getting a good run on Kano, and right behind them is Google Dougal, so that could have been interesting as Arkaka big lockup going into turn 7. And that allows Google Dougal by going into turn 8. So
Good
unfortunate,
move.
Arkaka, yeah, great move for Google, and just unfortunate for Arkaka that chose the inside line, had to respect that Kano had the right to the corner because he wasn't able to get by, and now he's down a few spots because of it.
Now, I must say, I have a very short memory, but Dan has come out ahead of both Andrew and Krem and Motown Motor City.
Wow.
So, the undercut do be crazy here.
The undercut is insane. Wow, that's impressive. And yeah, and then everybody else yet to pit. We have a couple guys with 3 seconds. Andrew picked up 5 seconds, so I wonder if that is pit lane related. Oh, we've got an end plate. End plate gone. Is that iFunner's end plate? Hard to tell right now on the camera angle. Yeah, iFunner is missing an end plate. Oh, Rogue is now into pit. So I think Rogue might be the biggest loser here.
Yeah, I think he is. I have a feeling Dan might. I'm just kidding. I'm a liar. Rogue's gonna be fine, I think. Well, this is a very slow pit lane.
It is a very slow pit lane. SRS, Kano, and Young DJ also into pit. So 1 through 6 still need to pit. Obviously, Bodhod should be pitting. What do those mediums run? Probably about 13 laps or so.
Yeah. So the gap 2.4 to Dan. Give a lap to those hearts to warm up, and I think Dan is actually sitting very happily right now for where he started.
No, absolutely. I mean, looking at the change in position, Dan up P3 spots from P11. So I think the undercut is the call, and we'll see if that pays off, and maybe he's able to get up for some serious points at the end of the day.
As well, I think Kitten has Andrew. I think Andrew got past Kitten on those fresh mediums. Now he's dividing the Alpha and the Haas. So those mediums are definitely giving Andrew quite a bit of pace here.
Yeah, I think initially those mediums will be the best tire to be on for pace, but I think as they go along, those hards will kick in. So I think it's crucial for Kitten to try to keep with Andrew as much as he can. I mean, that's already a 1.6 gap, but we'll see as we move forward. iFunner, is he gonna be in the pit lane here, or what's going on?
Oh, I think he spun.
Uh-oh,
no, wait,
that's
who is
Motown.
that?
Motown? Who is that back
No.
there? Cream.
Oh,
Cream
Krem.
Media. Krem is spun at turn 17, unfortunately.
He has no damage. I'd just like to point out.
Wow, that's very lucky. Okay, so iFunner into the pits. Yeah, that is quite lucky for Cream. So now, hopping back up, we got a nice little battle for P3 on track. Google, Rum, and Arkaka. All three of them yet to pit, so we'll kind of see who blinks first. I wonder if the undercut even on the mediums is powerful.
You know, that's a good point. I can't say I've done a single lap on the medium so far.
Because if we think, so we've got like, if the pit lane is even like something crazy like 28 seconds for a whole pit stop, that would still allow Bodhod ahead, still put Bodhod in P5 ahead of Rogue.
Right.
So.
Well, and you know, Bodhod, as soon as he got past Rogue, he was gone. I think Rogue's going to be very hard pressed to do anything about this gap.
Yeah, that's a good point. Gotta hope for some safety car or something later to kind of close things back up.
Well, I was gonna say we're lap 9 and there's no safety cars.
No,
I want my money back.
I know, right? AM2 is behaving so far in this race. As we were chatting here, Rum Fresh and We've got a little more of a gap now. So Arkaka chased down Google Google. And Alp in the chat saying Rumfresh, great move. So Rumfresh up to P3 for the moment. And we'll keep an eye on Andrew's battle with Dan.
Yeah. Yeah, these 1, 2, 3, these 4 guys from 2nd to 5th, I think they really just want to minimal fighting. These guys are going to be driving with each other for the rest of the race. They need to put in solid laps so that they don't get jumped by the ones on the other strategies.
No, absolutely. I think it's crucial to try to limit the time lost from battles, as you say, and just try to drive clean and consistent before you get to your pit window. Andrew really giving Dan X427, giving him some grief here as we come through the bridge and the turn 13 hairpin.
You know, I've had the lovely opportunity to drive with Dan for a few seasons in EU2, and he's since moved on to greener pastures in EU3. But the man can defend so well. I mean, Andrew has the pace advantage on better tires, and I don't think he's going to be able to find a way past this Alpha.
No, absolutely. I think Andrew's got his hands full. Andrew does usually have to deal with the likes of Kitten and Bodhod for defense. Oh, as we've got a car off in sector at the end of sector 2, start of sector 3. Cream Media went off again by the looks of it, so he's having a tough race.
Ooh, Andrew's got a good run on Dan though.
Go down the inside.
Close to the outside. Inside, I guess.
Oh.
Great respect from those drivers, giving each other space.
Absolutely.
Again, I think we kind of have a rogue Bodhod situation. No reason for Dan to fight this. Andrew's got to pit again. He just tuck in behind. And I guess Theme of the Night just put in solid laps.
No, absolutely. I mean, obviously, Andrew is going to have that little kind of demon on the shoulder, as it were, with 427 in his mirrors the entire time, but I mean that'll just force Andrew to just be faster, which will in turn help him out in the long run. I mean, Andrew currently 2 seconds back from Rogue in the overall P3 P2 battle.
Yeah. Yeah, I wish I knew exactly how long the pit stop here was, but
Bodhod is into the pits, so early pit stop here, lap 11.
Lap
Wonder
10.
if any lap at 10 laps.
Oh, and a wing change.
Oh dear, that's not good. So that's gonna cause an interesting fight here with this wing change.
Well, and now, well, I mean, I think Rogue's still gonna be behind him by maybe. Actually, this is going to be very close coming out of the pits.
Very close.
Bodhod, he's got to do this as fast as he can.
Oh,
there goes Rogue. Rogue jumps in, takes the provisional lead. The wing change costing Bodhod quite a bit as Spud retires. And there's a safety car.
There's the safety car. Oh no, Spud.
Oh,
that's tough. Well, that's I'm very unfortunate. That is huge for Porridge, Rum, Google, and Arkaka, who get a free pit stop here, though.
And they have a quite, well, I mean, it's not the best thing in the world, but they do have the gap, so that's huge for these guys.
Yeah.
Bodhod's kicking himself if he had waited one more lap.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Especially with that wing change where it closed the gap up to Rogue. And lost him in the lead for the moment. I mean, knowing Bodhod, he should have the pace here to get by, but
he should. But I mean, Dan holding up Andrew, and the field is kind of leveled between these two guys, right? And I guess the difference between tires between these two, even towards the end, 3 laps on the hards. That's not the biggest thing. So I think Rogue, if he can keep his head on his shoulders, he's in the driver's chair, let's say.
Absolutely.
As Krem picks up the drive-through. Oops.
Speeding under safety car, so he's...
As he do.
as you do. So he must be ignoring the delta.
Now I see Spud in the chat. If you want to give us a little rundown of just how your car probably found its way into a wall, that'd be really cool. I'm kind of curious, as we didn't see it. As all of our medium runners at the front of the field are going to pit.
Yep, as expected. Now, interesting here. Oh, never mind. Porridge.
Andrew
Porridge.
Speed's in the pit lane.
Oh no.
Oh, guys.
Andrew, that's not what you need. Oh dear. Well,
Now,
I think the biggest winners here are Rogue, Dan,
yeah,
Kitten, and Bodhod. I mean Amram
dude,
as well.
I'm not gonna lie, I kind of forgot Dan existed, but yeah, this
Yeah.
is huge for him as well. You gotta kind of feel for Andrew because him trying that the two stop, he kind of forced himself to take another set of tires. So definitely, I think one of our losers of this safety car.
No, without a doubt. I think that's a tough call on his end. But I mean, I guess if you look at it this way, if he was doing the two stop anyways, this stop was a free one for him because he's going to be stopping again. But still tough choice. But or has he? Yeah, no, he's only stopped. That should be his second stop.
This,
Yeah.
this race is gonna get fun at the end because we have Kitten and Dan on they're like much older than everyone else's. Rogue, older, Amram older, and then Porridge, Rum, and Google all behind them on those fresh tires.
Yep.
I mean, this is gonna be exciting. And Spud has graced us with his reply. Says came out from under the bridge, forgot to go into lean, and got onto the curb. So I guess that'd be that. Is that turn 17?
Under the bridge.
Yeah, the little left right thingy.
No, that should be 18, 19. Came out from under the bridge, forgot to go into the... Oh.
I think the takeaway point is those curbs they can be deadly.
Yeah, the curbs can be vicious depending on your setup. I mean, if he means like the bridge after turn 12 going into the hairpin, I guess that before the chicane at the end. Yeah, okay. That makes
So
sense.
I just pulled up the race director to look at some tires things because
Okay.
I noticed that Motown is now on fresh mediums because he's gone soft, hard, medium. And again, I don't think those mediums will last. And also, shout out to Kano. I think he's on his fourth set of tires, gone medium, hard.
Wow.
Those are all the exciting ones. Anyways,
Yep. That's wild.
that's Singapore.
Motown is gonna need to pit again because I don't think those mediums will make it to the end.
Surely,
Yeah.
if like, I think it was someone in EU2. It might have been Jamie, actually, our winner of our EU2 race, but he did a thing where he took mediums to the end when they shouldn't, had them at like just a cool 90%. So maybe we're gonna see a bit of a tire wear saving masterclass for Motown.
Yeah, I mean that's gonna be incredible if he can take this another
Right?
like 18 laps. So
Yep.
especially considering Bodhod pit on lap 11. Well, I mean with full race fuel, but still. Yeah, I think this is gonna be interesting. I'm assuming the safety car is coming in this lap. Unfortunately,
Yep.
Kano and iFunner are like miles behind everybody else, but
Oh, I wonder if iFunner tried to serve his drive-through and got a pit stop instead.
it's possible.
As Kano picks up 3 seconds under the safety car, trying to hurry back to the group. That's not what you want.
No, not what you want at all. And Kano's already having a frustrating race, so he's already at 6 seconds and pens. Cream Media has to serve a drive-through after the safety car. And
Oh, I guess it was Creme with the drive-through. Never mind.
yeah. Andrew's got 5 seconds. Motown and Young DJ with 3 seconds. Bodhod and Dan with 3 seconds. And Google with 3 seconds.
That's
Everybody else clean.
that's something for Rogue if he can keep it clean. I mean, if you tabulated how many drivers at Singapore have kept someone faster behind them, I mean it'd be insane. So I think Rogue actually, I think it's his race to lose.
Uh, I agree. At this point, I think Rogue's in the best spot, and you're gonna have. I'm curious to see how Dan's gonna handle this, considering this isn't really his fight. But like, at the same time, he solid points in the overall constructors championship. So
He's
Kitten Petter is gonna look to make quick work of the Alpha Romeo, and then Bodhod and Kitten are gonna have to deal with Rogue here to sort things out.
these top five. I think something bad is gonna happen.
Yeah, yeah.
I have a feeling.
We're gonna have
Right in
some
my stomach.
spicy stuff going on here.
Spicy stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're in the chat, want to get a prediction in, how many laps are we gonna go into the next safety car? My guess is like 5, dude.
Yeah, I think we're at least gonna have a VSC after this restart because guys are gonna be jostling for position and kind of some impatience might set in here in the latter half of this race. And so, going back to what we were talking about earlier with how the championship shakes down for AM2, Kitten
Right.
needs to outscore Bodhod by 11 points to keep it alive. So if Bodhod gets first or second, and Kitten, yeah, then obviously it's over. Bodhod wins the championship. If Bodhod gets P3 with the fastest lap, the championship is secured. And if not, it's still open depending on how many points Kitten secures in that scenario.
Right.
So we'll
And the safety car is in this lap as iFunner rejoins in the nick of time. And before we get going, Swarner makes a good point. I think Kitten's just praying that there is a late safety car so he can get onto the fresh tires at the end because it's just those hards are going to be so mad at him at the end of this race.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the only thing he's got going for him is the fact that we have just been driving around with the safety car for the last 3 laps here. That might help a little bit, but I know you do have access to the tire wear, so be curious to take a look later on, see how he's faring. He should be okay at this point in the race, but
I think I'm supposed to, but I don't.
as Rogue sets off, and we are green, going around the final 2 corners, coming around the front straight. Bodhod going a little bit wide, and Dan and Kitten right behind him. And things are looking good so far going into turn 1, 2, and 3 as Porridge and Amram swap positions, Andrew and Arkaka swap positions. Other than that, though, things are looking pretty clean for the moment.
Yeah, these four, I think they should be mentally preparing for this battle because I don't think they're gonna let each other slip out of DRS.
Ooh, it's Rumfresh looking for a move on Porridge, but thinks better of it and tucks back in. And we'll hop back to the race leaders for a moment.
How many laps before desperation sets in?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, this just kind of shows the masterclass of the championship leaders and the front runners here. Is we've already got a 2-second gap to P5 from Kitten Petter, so
Yep.
it's just as Andrew gets by his teammate for P8. Andrew's gonna need to make up some positions here, but we'll see.
That pack at the back, I think Amram's he's trying to catch up with the leaders, but that pack behind, they're gonna be in that nice DRS train for I think quite a while.
Oh, absolutely. Especially most of those drivers are similar pace, similar skills, so you're not going to see anybody just outright dominate lap to lap. It's going to be up to the drivers and who's able to stay consistent the longest.
It's Singapore, I think it's one of those rhythm tracks. You want to get in the rhythm, stay in it. As soon as you have to play catch up, you're kind of opening up yourself to make a mistake.
Oh, absolutely.
It was oh no, Motown's had to pit. Okay.
Uh-oh. Okay. Shoot.
Must have some damage.
Yeah, must have some damage. So it's a tough race for Mo. Things were looking promising early on for the Mercedes man, but now he's back to the back of the grid. I mean, still lots of laps left. We're only at the halfway point of this race, so
We're only at the halfway point.
it feels like we
Oh
should be
man.
done, but we're only at the halfway point.
The Singapore, it gives you entertainment, but it also takes like years off your life. Um,
Honestly.
Motown, he's if there is a safety car, he's gonna be right back in it. So hopefully he sticks it out.
Yeah, I think he's gonna try his best. He's a competitor through and through, and he's not gonna throw in the towel just yet.
Looks it looks fairly calm throughout the second DRS train.
Yeah, nothing too crazy. Looking at the Andrew and Rumfresh battle for P7 at the moment here, but it's not yet a battle just yet. It's still pretty far away. Interesting to note, we've already got Bodhod's gap to Dan in P3 is already 1.5 seconds. So,
That's like, I gotta say, I'm very impressed with the pace of those two front runners.
yeah, like
They are giving it to everyone else.
they are giving it exactly. Yeah, we've got kind of two mini battles. We got the battle for P1 and then we got the battle for P3 kind of shaping up. As Bodhod has caught up to Rogue. So the 4-lap newer softs, or the newer hards, sorry, starting to show their pace a little bit, maybe.
Yeah, and I think Dan and Kitten, they're both kind of, yeah, they must be really feeling that tire wear.
They must be. Bodhod getting a good run on Rogue, going down the outside, going into turn 7, but Rogue holds the line. Bodhod stays close going into turn 8, but Rogue still defends well. Great driving from both the Renault and the Mercedes drivers.
I gotta be honest, I think Rogue's feeling the pressure. Bodhod right in his gearbox, looking for any mistake, and he's just gonna jump on it.
Oh, absolutely. Bodhod's just itching to get going, and this battle, unfortunately, has allowed Dan and Kitten to catch right back up into the fight, so, I mean, it's not what Bodhod wants at this moment.
And Amra, oh, never mind, sorry, as Bodhod tries again on the outside, makes a little contact, no room to get the move done.
No. And this is going to be tough for Bodhod because Rogue likes to drive, as we say, like the Europeans. We found there's a little bit of a discrepancy in the way the European guys like to drive compared to the American guys. We're a little bit more respectful with the space, where the other guys are like, they see an inch and they're going to take a foot and get their car in there because positions are everything and it's important. So it'll be interesting to see how Bodhod fares here as Bodhod takes another run at Rogue down the front straight. I think he's going to wait till that second DRS zone here to make his move.
All the while, Rogue has no penalties.
Yeah, and I think another thing to keep in mind too is Kitten also has no penalties, so that's going to be crucial in this.
Surely Bodhod has to have it.
Yeah, Bodhod
on the outside.
And he does get the move done, but Bodhod goes way wide. Oh, there's some contact.
Rogue turns in on the Merc.
Oh,
gets
no.
Spun.
Oh,
and Dan's past Rogue too. Oh no.
Oh no.
And Dan's gonna keep that position. I think Rogue got a little optimistic about where that Merc was and turned in a bit too early.
Oh, and now he just goes for wow, Rogue just went for the lunge of the century there on Dan, trying to get his position back. Oh, that's some hardcore racing right there.
It goes okay. Well, we're gonna settle down for a second now. All the while, Bodhod 1.7 up the road. But Singapore's a street track, and if you see someone open a door, you gotta put yourself there. Otherwise, you're never gonna make a move.
Absolutely, like you have to. You can't be sitting here and just hoping for them to open the door for you. You gotta take your shots.
And Amram is right at the back of Kitten now.
Oh man.
Holy.
Yeah. So now what turned into a little bit of a getaway for P1 has turned into Bodhod driving off into the distance, and now it's a 4-way fight for P2.
Yep, Rogue's going to be staring at that gap now, because if he can keep it to 3 seconds he's got a shout, but Bodhot
Yeah.
in clear air at this track is deadly.
Oh, absolutely. And I think going back to that incident on the previous lap with Bodhot and Rogue. Oh, as Kitten looking for a move on Dan. Dan's great defending to the inside, but then leaves Kitten just enough room so they can both go too wide through turn 7 and now into turn 8. Kitten's got to stack back up. All the while, Amram is able to catch right up, and it's allowing Rogue some breathing room now as Rogue's got a 2-second gap on Dan. But this is some craziness as we get into the latter stages of this race. I was just mentioning the Bodhot Rogue incident. It was looked like it was kind of gonna shake down the way it did, just the way that. Kitten getting a little squirrely.
He had a little tap from Amram as they went through it. Oh man, everyone's they're inching for these spots, man. They can see the podium, but they got Dan in the Alpha blocking the way.
Oh, that's tough. Yeah. Anyways, I was just saying the Kitten and Bodhot, the Rogue and Bodhot incident. Bodhot just ended up going a little bit wide, and as he came back onto the track, Rogue was right there, and I don't think Rogue was thinking that Bod was going to stay there, and he did, and then contact was made. Tough sledding for Rogue. Now down 2.6.
Yeah, he was able to I think he'd be absolutely fuming if he had ended up stuck behind this little train, but he's fortunate to get away, so hopefully he can maybe work on this gap. But
yeah, that's gotta be frustrating, especially now that Andrew is caught right back up.
I was gonna say,
yeah.
Oh my God, another driver joins this party. I mean, I wouldn't make a prediction. I think any of these guys are gonna get into P3.
Yeah, I mean, the way it shakes out right now, Kitten will get P3 on track. Rogue potentially will get P1. Or with the penalties that are going on right now, but
just deviating from the front a bit, Google and Rummer had a little scrap before they got to the tunnel bridge.
Okay,
whatever you call it.
Keep an eye on that. Might have to be ready to jump into that battle. But Kitten get with DRS on 427, but not able to get by him.
The rear steps out. Oh my God. Sorry, this is so stressful.
Oh man.
I was following along with Amram too, and it's so easy when you're following guys, and you know there's positions to make just get on the throttle as Cram retires in the pits.
There we go. And Dan feeling the pressure a little bit here in P3. It's I mean, understandably so. That gap to Rogue in P2 is really starting to climb now, 4 seconds, and that's not what Kitten Petter needs at this point in the race. His SRS is getting really close to Kitten, so this is going to be a battle as we go down the front straight, coming around turn 6.
Amram's
turn 5 and 6.
Really struggling with these traction zones. Little wiggle there before the DRS straight, and he's not going to be in striking distance of that Haas.
That's tough because he was right on the gearbox of Kitten, but like you mentioned, traction zones just not helping him out.
Now let's just from the chat take a second to cool down from all this excitement. Maddie is reporting Dan has 19% damage caused by his little incident with Rogue. So
oh shoot,
there's your little pace difference between Dan and Rogue. So that means that the guys behind him are really going to want to get by.
Yeah, that's tough. And I mean, Swarner making Swarner has the reply comment mentioning helping the championship, battling against the contender with wing damage. It's like, yeah, I guess in some ways maybe it would help Kitten out to let him through, but Dan's a competitor and he's not in just.
Oh, Amram goes deep, and there goes his wing.
Oh dear.
Oh.
So Andrew able to sneak up into P5. Amram should probably pit because that's some serious wing damage.
Oh, he has to.
Yeah.
Yep. And he'll infield pit. Yeah.
So now Kitten's got some breathing room. So now Kitten can focus solely on getting Dan. They both are low on ERS, so it's going to be a matter of who's the better driver, who's got the better setup. But
And Dan's going to be a hard cookie to crack. But the one redeeming thing for Kitten is he is clean. So if he can at least stay with Dan, he has a guaranteed podium.
absolutely. Oh, what a crazy race,
dude! I know. I feel like you kind of have to take some like deep breaths now that it's calmed down a bit. But Andrew, 1.2 behind Kitten. We cannot forget the difference in tire quality here. Dan and Kitten, 16, 18 respectively. Andrew Porridge right behind, 9. So I think 5 laps in, they might really start feeling the guys behind them.
Yeah, I think that's a key point to bring up. I mean, it's going to be a matter of if these guys can keep up the pace as we get into the final few laps. 9 laps to go. I mean, having 27 laps on those hards. Oh, Kitten Petter picks up a warning. Oh no.
Kitten.
That's not what he needs. So now Kitten's really got to get by Dan on track.
Yeah, well, and you know what? If he was being a little cautious with warnings, he can really kind of send it now because he's got a couple warnings to work with.
Yep.
He's pretty close. I mean, 3/10. Dan is driving a rocket ship, but...
And with wing damage, no less.
And with wing damage.
Yeah.
Oh, Kitten's
he's
so close. I think this is make or break.
Yeah. Kitten's gonna get it here, I think. They're pretty close. If Kitten gets a good run.
Ooh. Dan is so fast in a straight line.
Dan must be running like 1-1 wings, man. Oh,
yeah.
Kitten. Oh. Just too far back to get a move done. Makes you wonder. Makes you wonder when Kitten should just pull a rogue and send it down the inside on Dan and just take that spot.
You know, some people say the best way to get by someone is just ignore they're there. But I do remember, I think the last time we were at Singapore, the commentary of you guys saying, at some point you're gonna have to get creative. The traditional overtaking spots on Singapore, you know, they lend themselves to defending, so Kitten's gonna have to try to work some magic on these old tires to get Dan somewhere where his, you know, 1-1 wings aren't gonna keep him ahead.
No, absolutely. I think it'll come. Kitten's gonna have some tricks up his sleeves. Kitten's got too much at stake here to just sit back in P4 and do laps around. So Kitten will come up with something, but you're right. He's gonna have to be creative with how he gets that job done. Alp in the chat commenting, giving you some props for he loves your excited breathing whenever something wild happens in this race. So
that's like every lap apparently.
But I mean, up to this point in the race, it's
oh, okay, this has to be it.
Yeah, this has got to be it.
Kitten stealing Dan's gearbox.
Smelling the exhaust.
Again, he gets his release out of that corner onto the DRS straight is not the best, but oh, here he goes. This is the best run he's gonna have. He has to send it around the outside. Dan takes the wide line.
Oh, Dan, masterclass defending from Dan.
You're not gonna get by it, and I think Kitten's getting frustrated. Those traction zones are starting to give him. Oh my God, Andrew, where did you come from?
Yeah, Andrew just taking advantage of this battle. Andrew sneaking all the way up into P4 now. So this is going from bad to worse for the Haas man.
Oh no. But I mean, hey, now all of a sudden the narrative's changed, right? Andrew is the one who could potentially nick this podium. But again, Dan is not going to make this easy for anybody.
Well, I mean, the only thing is, Andrew has that 5-second penalty from speeding in the pit lane still. That plays against him here.
You know what? Alps made a. Well, you know what? No one has ERS. I had literally the top 5,
Yeah, Dan
all below
doesn't.
30.
Let's go look at like someone like. There's not. The next was like Google Dougal. Same idea. Even Google Dougal trying to chase down Porch Power. He's running thin on the ERS as
It's
well. So
it's so hard. Like even in today's U2 race, I found I got down below 30. Again, it might just be the weird like disruption of time that Singapore has to have, but you feel like you drive for an hour and your ERS has gone like 5%. It's incredibly hard to save.
yeah. So and I think that's also what's hurting Kitten right now. Just unable to build that ERS back up. But that gap from Rogue to Dan is now 9.7 seconds. That is crazy.
Oh. Yeah.
Craziness.
I mean, DK said before the race, Bodhod likes this track.
Yep.
And I think he's really showing it.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, they're so tight to Dan.
Oh man.
But I mean, like, since Andrew got past Kitten, he's gonna be waiting in line to get by him.
No, absolutely. Yeah, I think it's tough. It's tough. You gotta hope for some wing damage or something to happen to one of these guys so Kitten can get by.
Here, I'll say it. I hope Dan gets a podium just so we know what wings he's running.
Yes.
I need to know for tomorrow.
Yeah, the man is driving around with wing damage and is holding back Andrew Kitten. That's an impressive driving.
I think the guys behind are getting frustrated. It's tough because you're the one following. You're the one who has to, be ready to attack, and it's so easy to cut a corner, to get out of touch with it.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think, and now as those tires wear out more and more, that's only going to make things more difficult to keep things online.
Well, and
Swarner in the chat saying he's running negative downforce. It's like, honestly, it probably is the case.
Right? Well, I mean, I shamelessly stole Dressay's setup for Monaco, and that dude ran like what, a 5.7 or something crazy. And when you can kind of just figure out these windy bits and stay ahead of people, it's just an absolute godsend for the straights because no one, period, will be able to get by you.
Yeah, it's just tough. Overall, just tough. Sorry, I was reading the chat, getting caught up. Guys were asking about tire percentages. So, I wonder,
Yes.
Kitten and Dan
Right.
seeing 20 laps and 22 laps on those tires. So, like, Kitten's sounds like are around 50%. So I wonder when Dan's are at this point in the race, because obviously Andrew's gonna have a lot less, unless Dan is a magician with tire wear too.
the man's just a magician. Who knows? Maybe we should call him Wizard.
So Rogue has just picked up his third warning. So now Rogue has a 3-second penalty as well.
Jeez.
So as long
I'm feeling in my heart for Kitten right now. Andrew just had a little moment, and I think normally that'd be like the perfect opportunity, but this DRS train, Bodhod has left the session. Oh my god!
No. Hopefully Bodhod can get back in.
I'll send him an invite.
No.
Oh my goodness.
I know.
No.
Yeah, send him an invite. I know I've sent him a few more, but that is not what he needs.
Australia has just banned the internet. Will it cost Bodhod the championship?
Oh dear.
Oh no.
And Rogue's going to be able to capitalize on the slower driving AI that takes over while Bodhod is away from the action. And that is huge.
4 laps to go.
Oh,
and Bodhod's right back in. He might be okay. Oh my god, that got my heart pumping.
Man, that was... Oh.
Wow.
He's still got to load in and then get in the car again. Oh.
Now, as it stands though, Bodhod taking P1, Kitten, say P4. That's enough for Bodhod to secure it.
Absolutely.
Maybe?
Yep, that should be.
It's 11 points, do you say?
It's an 11-point gap, so Bodhod in P1 and Kitten P4 would be enough. Yep.
Yeah, I gotta be honest, I don't do math very well, so I
Yep.
think that's, I'm glad you can.
Oh,
Um,
I'm just going off of what Bodon calculated earlier for us.
Kitten, he keeps getting to the back of Andrew in Sector 3, and oh, he might have a run here, though.
Uh-oh.
Nope, DRS is the thing. Never mind. Porridge, again, all this while these guys are stuck behind Dan, and now Porridge and Google Dougal have both caught up to the train.
Man, that's gonna be some wild action. I've hopped on board with Bodon and Rogue here for a little bit because
Oh my god,
since
Rogue's
Bodhod
back.
was, yeah, Rogue was able to catch up while the AI was driving around for Bodhod, so
How much do you
unfortunate for
think
Bodhod.
Rogue's kicking himself for getting that penalty?
Oh, quite a bit now at this point. But I mean, Rogue will still be happy with P2 at the end of the day.
You know what? 100%.
He's had an excellent race, start to finish. Had a great qualifying session.
His pace has improved. I'd say quite a bit over the last. Well, I mean, since he joined the league and now, right?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Ooh.
He kind of went from midfield contender last season to he's been up there with the best of them. He's definitely top 5. I mean, the standings don't say it. I don't think he's 5th in the points championship, but he's definitely pace-wise, he's definitely up there with the best of them. So
Oh, go ahead.
we've got 2 more laps to go. Bodhod
Oh,
rounding
we
the final
do.
corner, crossing the start-finish line to start lap 29 of 31.
I mean, you gotta, part of you has to root for Dan to hold on to this P3. He's been under threat since that safety car, really, ever since
Oh.
the thing with Rogue. If he can get to the end here and secure this P3, I think that's a bit of a, I mean, props to the man for defending like a madman.
Yeah, just to make a note here, Andrew, on top of that 5-second penalty, has a 3-second penalty
Ah,
for multiple warnings, I'm assuming. So that's kind of got to be frustrating for Kitten as well, that, you've got a guy that's got a lot more penalties than you ahead of you.
I think it all comes down to the fact that no position will ever be a given. You
Yep.
know, everyone in cause they're competitors, and there's always a bit of pride with a position. Even if you lose it to pens, you want to finish the race and say, okay, at least I got it on track.
No, that's very true. Oh, Connell picking up multiple warnings. Penalty for him, but yeah, Dan accumulating a little bit of a train now. You got
A little bit of a train once.
Kitten, Porridge, Google, and yeah,
Oh.
like you got 5 cars here, all duking it out. Dan just casually taking the parade around the streets of Singapore, of the Marina Bay Circuit.
I'm very thankful that this didn't happen to me earlier today.
Oh,
Um, I
Rogue must have had something happen because Rogue is now 2 seconds off of Bodhod, so Rogue must have gotten a little loose in one of the corners.
wing looks intact.
Yep. So Andrew making a little mistake here. Oh,
Kitten.
Kitten's looking for something.
Oh, he's got to have the run here.
Yeah, he's got it. Kitten getting a
He gets
little
squirrely again.
Oh, Kitten going down the inside on Andrew. Andrew won't have DRS, and Kitten able to get by. So now Kitten has gotten P4 with 1.5 laps to go. Kitten Petter needs to close up 1.4 seconds on Dan and then try to get by Dan.
Oh my God, Andrew sends it.
Andrew sends it down the inside.
Oh, wow. Now, quick maths, Burzy. If Kitten is in third,
Right.
does he keep it alive?
So that's a difference of 10 points between P1 and P3.
Oh no.
It's
Oh, as
25.
Andrew hits Kitten in the back.
Oh no.
I think
Yes.
Kitten's okay, but 2 seconds to Dan and 2
seconds
laps.
now. Oh, that's frustrating. I think
Those
be a little
tires
bit.
have to be crying too, right?
Oh, I'd assume so. They've got to at least be in the 60% range by now.
Right? At
But
least.
yeah. Well, he's close at 1.7, and we'll see here. I mean, we do have to remember Dan does have that wing damage, so maybe that's going to allow Kitten to close the gap up a little bit. But I mean, Dan's been a brick wall this entire race. Nothing's been able to get by him.
It's yeah, to catch someone, it's another to get by, especially at Singapore. Um,
Oh, I'm my math. I guess it doesn't really matter because Kitten's the one that needed to be ahead of Bodhod by 11 points to keep things.
oh, also
So
porridge is by Andrew.
yep.
They both get squirrely though. Oh,
So
Andrew will
Alp,
take it back.
thank you for the clarification in the chat.
So in summary, none of this matters.
None of this
Um,
matters. Nope. Nope, none of this matters. Bodhod just needs to keep things consistent here for the next sector and a half, and then Bodhod
oh
will
my
be the
God!
AM2
What
champion.
the? Sorry,
Whoa, what's
Google
going on?
just flies by Andrew and porridge. I think he just had a double overtake.
Looks like it. Yeah, because now Andrew and Porridge are duking it out.
Just riding on the teapot and he flies through, but
Oh man. Oh, but Andrew goes a little bit deep.
oh, what's? Oh my God! Watch out for the
Andrew Porridge.
wall!
We've got an excellent shot of this right now on stream from the helicopter cam. Watching Andrew and Porridge just duke it
Now,
out.
probably go to the leader as is rounding last few corners.
Alrighty. We have Bodhod rounding the final few corners here as he takes home the Singapore Grand Prix P1, and I can officially say that Bodhod is the AM2 champion now.
Dominant drive. I
Dominant
mean,
drive.
if you have to have a drive to win your championship, that's gotta feel good.
Yeah, absolutely. Rogue.
Oh,
Oh, and Rogue jumps him on
wait.
the pens.
Never mind, you didn't win. Oh my God.
Did Bodhod have an extra time penalty right at the end?
He must have.
He must have. He must have picked up an extra warning. Time
Yeah.
glitch thing. Bodhod 1, time glitch thingy. Okay. I thought so.
Dude, I'm just so confused.
I don't know.
And Dan rounding out our top three with,
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's just a defensive masterclass from our EU fill-in, and then Kitten has his championship dreams absolutely crushed. But
Absolutely.
you know what?
He-
He for the slow start he had, I think he can be very proud at the fight he put up.
No, absolutely. I think Kitten Petter, hats off to you, sir. Round of applause. Great drive this season, and a hard fought battle today as well. Unfortunately, couldn't get it done, but it was a wild race nonetheless. And yeah, like
I'm,
again,
this is exciting, Brizzy. If Dan
man.
joins this interview, we get to. I'm always on the other side of Dan's interviews.
absolutely. So this will be kind of fun.
The roles have reversed. How about that?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, speaking of interviews,
Oh, yeah, I guess I could.
I can do them, or if you would like to conduct the
You
interview,
know what? I'll
tag
do the
team
back
it?
end stuff. I'll do
Sure.
the back end stuff.
All right,
I think I can remember their names.
perfect. Do you want to get
Wow.
them all in the party here? And in the meantime, for those of you that have tuned in to join us, we'd love to get your driver of the day in the chat.
And explain why your driver of the day is Dan.
Yes, Dan. I would say Dan should be driver of the day, but that's just me. He had a fantastic drive. But Matty Robbo saying Bodhod won, leaving the session, got given additional penalties. It's a glitch.
It is
Okay,
glitch.
gotcha. Okay. England on the podium, lovely. Yeah, great drive. So Rogue on the top of the leaderboard here, but Bodhod is the one that actually was the guy that crossed first. So Bodhod P1, Rogue P2, and Dan X427, our lovely fellow commentator, in P3, and Kitten Petter so close in P4. And there is the rest of the field.
Andrew falls down to 8th.
Yeah,
Wow.
Andrew, 8 seconds in penalties, and even Google Doodle with 6 seconds in penalties. That was huge with the trains that were going on.
It's these races they kind of lend themselves to being clean on pens, especially because people tend to group up. Even a pen can potentially knock you down. So
What happened?
oh, I hear voices.
Bodhod?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, that was an amazing race, my friend.
It was. I don't know if I won it or not.
You
I
did,
don't,
you did, you did.
I
I
just
don't
checked it
think I
because
did.
on my screen it said Ray won it by like half a tenth because he had a penalty and then he didn't have a penalty. Then who knows? So I've got no idea.
We've been informed by the lovely people in chat that it is indeed a glitch.
Yeah, because when you lag out and lag back in, it does a weird things. Because I got like a fastest lap as well, which I didn't get.
Okay.
And Dan's
Well-
in here too.
Yes, I'm here.
Awesome, very
Yes.
good.
Well, that hurt.
Like, I was gonna say, I guess we can get started with the interviews now that everyone's here. But I was saying to Bersy that I'm excited because normally it's the other way around with me and Dan. He's interviewing me for shenanigans in EU2, so it's pretty exciting that you're
So
here.
get your own back.
But yeah, so I think I have two main questions for you. Number one is, how did you drive around Singapore with 1-1 wings? And just tell me how it felt to defend for most of that race.
Well, the first point I didn't. It was 1-2.
Mate, that's not much
No,
better.
it wasn't. It was. I think it was 5-10. I ended up running.
Wow, I'm writing that down.
Yeah. Which I mean, everyone else I've offered it to said it feels horrible, but it worked for me, so I'm not too fussed. And the other one, I say it hurt. I've got cramp in my left arm.
Oh no.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I'm happy. That's the main thing. I came in just wanting to do a job for Alpha, and I think I did that. I'd have liked to have been up with those guys at the front, but wing damage meant that wasn't going to be. So
Well, it was a great drive. I think your calmness, having to defend for that long is pretty impressive.
yeah, I mean, there was a couple of moments when Kitten was pushing me, but I think for the most part and I don't want to do either of those guys, either Kitten or Andrew, a disservice, but it was pretty comfortable. I think because I had such low wings relative to everybody else. Just make sure I got a decent exit and burn whatever battery I had left, and we were good. So I just wish I could have pushed on.
It's fair, but at the end of the day, it's a really solid podium, especially after kind of the whatever happened in quali. Because I think you got a grid place.
Yeah, iPhone decided to stop on the pit entry, so what can you do?
It happens. But yeah, congratulations on the third. It was
Cheers,
a
man.
stellar drive. Moving on to Rogue, you had a pretty interesting race, kind of opposite strat of Bodhod, and then the safety car kind of brought it all to play. Just take me through your race.
Yeah, so that's a lot to unpack because I just started practicing this track like 2 hours before the start of the race. With a brand new setup, was not expecting to get pole position. I had to abort my second set of tires, and coming through the tunnel, I was red. So within that last complex, I was able to gain just enough to get pole. So that's my first pole. The start, iFunner. What the heck, man?
Yeah, that was something.
You jump the start, and then instead of getting out of the way and taking your penalty into the pits, you hold up the leaders. I actually had a good lead on the guys behind me, and it didn't take Bodhod too long on the mediums to get ahead of whoever else. I think it was 427 on the softs. And I almost damaged my wing. I bumped into him like 3 times. I thought he was going to let me by. He was swerving all over the place and cutting me off. So I was I was steaming a little bit, but trying to contain everything. Because honestly, I thought I could have gone to my first stop without Bodhod getting past me. So I had to kind of resign to pacing myself. And fortunately, with Bodhod's strategy, I just pipped him coming out of the pits right before the safety car. So that was fortunate. And I was just trying to race clean, no damage, no penalties. And I almost did that. I ran wide on the final corner about 2/3 of the way through, and we were level on penalties of 3 seconds. And if you look at how it ended, I mean, of course there was a disconnect, and I gained some time on him through that. If not for that, then he would have had first place solidly. But it came down to that one penalty, and I could have won by 1/10 of a second. So I'm still smiling. I'm proud of the race that I ran, and unfortunate things happened, and I made the best of it and kept it together, and still stuck on the podium. So hopefully this one will stick. And I know Bodhad and I got a little bumper cars going into that one tight corner, and yeah, it was a little hairy moment, but yeah, I think I recovered to get ahead of that, whoever that was, and try to stay within a, a short gap of Bodhad. Make it close to the end. Hopefully that was entertaining to watch.
The whole exchange, I think that you, Bodhod, and Dan had.
Dan and Kitten were there as well, yeah.
That was just I've never had so much anxiety in my entire life. That was just like waiting for someone to go flying into a wall, but somehow everyone managed to get out at the end. But
yeah, my shirt's drenched, by the way. So good fighting, good battles. Bodhad, you deserve it. Maybe next time we can go all the way to the final lap again. That was tasty. Thank you guys.
Yeah, congrats. Anytime you get to the podium at the end of a Singapore race, it's well deserved. And so I guess we'll move on to the man of the hour, the Singapore race winner, and your AM2 championship winner as well. Bodhad, how are you feeling? Tell me what's up.
Well, it's obviously good to win the championship. It kind of sucked blowing like a 90-point lead to like 20, but I guess it doesn't matter too much in the end. Kitten had a really strong middle section of the season, and he won or finished ahead of me in a lot of consecutive races in there, so it kind of gave me a bit of incentive in a way to kind of round up the season on a high, and I kind of got myself back on track last week with a clean race the first time in a while, and today wasn't really a clean race, but my pace was enough to keep me ahead. In terms of qualifying, I wasn't that happy with the medium lap. I think I only qualified 3 or 4 tenths off pole, but I reckon I could have found that. My third sector was pretty weak, but I knew the soft to hard was possible, but I knew the softs were really bad on a heavy car, so I was, actually binned my medium lap and probably was lucky to not DNF. So I committed to a second medium run and got into, I think it was P4, which was handy. And from there I knew I probably had the tyres in the first stint. And then the safety car happened, and that was a bit annoying because I had a nice lead. And I had to repair a wing damage. I was going to pit in lap 13, but I ended up pitting in lap 11, like 30 seconds before the safety car, because I understeered into a wall. So that was annoying, and that allowed Rogue back in front, and he kept me there, kept me behind for a little while. Speaking of Rogue, his race pace was really, really strong. Even when I cleared him, he was always kind of sticking there. I had a couple of good laps where the gap went from kind of 1 second to 4 seconds. But other than that, he was matching me pretty much lap for lap, which is really, really good, considering how confident I generally am around Singapore. So testament to his race pace, but it kept me pushing the entire time. And with that came little back end losses and close shaves with walls and stuff. So it was far from clean. But I was really happy with the push in that race and glad to come out on top. And the disconnect was annoying, but it happens sometimes. But yeah, it was a hell of a sweat fest. And a nice way to round off a championship, I guess. So next week we just end it.
I guess because this kind of brings up a point I was curious about watching, especially like Kitten and Andrew behind that whole pack. A lot of times in those traction zones when they needed to make a move, their rear would be slipping quite a bit. So throughout the course of that race, was the tire wear or the setup, did you find any issues with that type of stuff?
I'm not really sure. I think it's just a bit of inconsistency on my part. It's quite hard to accelerate out of traction zones on the hard tyres when you're trying to flick the fuel up and put the ERS down. There's a couple of times you can do that. There are a few times where I was kind of losing at mid-corner. I think that was probably more down to me kind of getting off the brakes poorly. So trying to get used to this load cell pedal, which is a hell of a workout every time I want to use it, particularly around Singapore. So it's a bit of inconsistency on my part. But, I mean, hard tyres, relatively cold track being nighttime, it's always going to be a bit difficult, particularly when you're fighting other cars. Like, that looked like a pretty tasty battle for P3. I think it was a three-way fight. Didn't really see much of it, but I saw the gaps on the leaderboard really, really close together and kind of switching around. So I'm sure it would have been a lot harder for them when they're trying to race each other. So I guess relative to that, I had it pretty easy. But yeah, it's difficult on the hards, as it generally is.
Well, congrats, man. Bersey, do you have any words you want to ask?
No comment, no questions. I think you've asked everything. Dan, great drive this evening, sir. Your defense was masterclass, and it was really fun to watch you hold off Kit and Petter, especially there near the end of that
Hold
race.
off everybody.
Hold off everybody. It was
a hell of a train you had behind you.
Oh my goodness, it was so fun.
I had Blades engineering for me, and all I said with about 10 to go, all I said to him was, "Who behind me doesn't have penalties?" And he said it was Porridge. I was like, I only want to know about the gap to him. I don't care about anybody else.
Yeah, honestly.
Just to Porridge.
Oh,
and then
man,
he said Porridge got 3 seconds. I said, oh.
Yeah, and Rogue, watching you were just on fire, man. It was so fun to watch you duke it out. Whether it was shooting by Dan there, I think that was after the safety car. You went for a pretty aggressive lunge at the hairpin turn 13, and you were able to. That was the move you needed. That was the move you needed to get you where you are now. Otherwise,
had to stay within range.
Absolutely, it was.
Yep,
shout out to my man Rogue. He's been quick last few races. Really nice. He's going to be a real challenge next season. So
absolutely,
I hope so. Yeah, that win is still eluding me, but to be within hair's reach again, boost your confidence just a little bit, and that's all you need heading into the next round.
Yeah, and the final round is good old US of A, Circuit of the Americas. So maybe that's your track, Rogue. Maybe that's the one where you can get that elusive first win.
I'll put in the practice right away.
Absolutely, and Bodhod, congratulations again, sir. Masterclass driving all season. I know a little bit of a lapse in concentration midway through the season there, letting the points slip away, but you took care of business when it counted, and you are the AM2 Season 6 champion, so congratulations.
Cheers, appreciate it. Shout out to the competition as well. Kitten had a hell of a run in the middle there, and P-Dog, with inconsistency with attendance, would have been right there too, and plenty of other competition too, so been a fun championship.
Absolutely. Alrighty, guys. Well, I'm going to close her out here for the evening. Thank you to all of you that have tuned in this evening to watch the race, or if you watch this back on YouTube later, thank you for sticking through all the way to the end. Arbar, thank you so much for filling in on comms this evening. I think you did a fantastic job. You were very exciting to listen to, commentate with, and I'm sure watching this one back will be a great one to listen to for sure. Your enthusiasm was energizing, to say the least. It was awesome.
Thanks, Lizzie.
You're welcome. So for those of you that are new to Contest of Speed, we have the top dogs tomorrow. We've got U1 and AM1, and then EU4 will close out the week on Thursday. Then we have our final race of the season. The final scheduled race of the season is next week at USA, and then I believe there's a makeup race after that for EU2, if I'm not mistaken, the week after, and then we're on a break. So there you have it. Thank you for tuning in. You can find us on YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, Twitter, and thanks so much. Have a fantastic evening.